Most people are not weak because they are getting older. They are weak because their muscles are slowly starving, even while they eat 3 meals a day. And the frightening part is that this process can begin in your 20s, long before most people notice the signs. The afternoon exhaustion, the slower metabolism, the stubborn belly fat, the stiff knees when standing up, the poor sleep, the brain fog, the feeling that your body is aging faster than your mind. Doctors and researchers have quietly warned for years that muscle loss is deeply connected to energy, hormone balance, blood sugar, memory, and even how long you live. But most people still think building muscle is only for bodybuilders. It is not. Your muscles are like hidden batteries inside your body. Every time you lose them, your energy drains a little faster, your balance weakens, your circulation slows, even your brain can suffer. And what shocks many experts is that some of the foods people proudly call healthy may actually be making muscle loss worse without them realizing it. But here's the strange part. The solution is not extreme dieting, it is not starving yourself, and it is definitely not spending hours in the gym. In fact, there are a few simple foods that can quietly switch your body back into repair mode, help your muscles grow faster, support healthy aging, and make your body feel stronger again, sometimes within weeks. And one of them is probably sitting in your kitchen right now. The healthy breakfast that secretly destroys muscle growth. One of the fastest ways to lose muscle is eating the breakfast most people believe is healthy. And the scary part is, your body can feel full while your muscles are still starving. Many people begin their morning with sugary cereal, flavored yogurt, toast, fruit juice, or low-fat snacks thinking they are making smart choices, but doctors and nutrition researchers have warned for years that these foods digest extremely fast. They spike blood sugar quickly, then crash it just as fast. And when that crash happens, the body starts searching for energy again. Hunger rises, cravings increase, energy drops, focus weakens. Over time, the body can begin storing more fat while struggling to maintain lean muscle tissue. The problem is not just calories. It is the signal these foods send inside the body. Your muscles need steady building material, protein, minerals, healthy fats, slow energy. But many popular breakfasts deliver almost none of that. They create a short burst of energy, followed by biological confusion. Think about the average morning. A person grabs orange juice, cereal, and toast before work. At 10 a.m., they already feel tired. By noon, they crave sugar again. They think they lack discipline, but the real issue started hours earlier. Their breakfast never truly fed their muscles in the first place. Now compare that to someone who starts the day with eggs, oats, Greek yogurt, nuts, or protein-rich foods. Their energy stays more stable, hunger arrives slower. Their muscles receive the nutrients needed for repair and growth. Even their mood often feels calmer because blood sugar swings are smaller. And this becomes even more important after age 30, because as the body ages, muscle repair naturally slows down. Studies show adults gradually lose muscle mass over time, especially when protein intake is too low or highly processed foods dominate the diet. That is one reason experts often connect muscle loss to weakness, slower metabolism, poor balance, and even reduced independence later in life. Small breakfast choices create massive long-term consequences. Pause for a second. Most people are not overeating because they are lazy. They are undernourished in the exact places the body needs support. A few simple changes can completely shift the direction of your energy and muscle health. Start breakfast with protein first, not sugar. Choose whole foods that digest slowly. Add healthy fats like nuts, eggs, or avocado for longer-lasting energy. Avoid drinking large amounts of sugar early in the morning. One mistake many people make is assuming low-fat automatically means healthy. In reality, many low-fat breakfast foods replace fat with sugar, which can increase cravings and energy crashes later. What breakfast keeps you full and energized the longest? Because the next food on this list surprises almost everyone, especially people trying hard to eat healthy while unknowingly slowing their muscle growth. Why older adults lose muscle faster, even when they eat enough. One of the biggest lies people believe about aging is that weakness is normal. It is not always age that steals muscle. Sometimes, it is the way the body stops listening to food. Many adults believe that eating the same meals they ate in their 30s should still keep them strong in their 50s and 60s. But researchers have found something surprising. As the body ages, muscles become less responsive to protein. Doctors sometimes call this anabolic resistance. In simple terms, the body starts ignoring small amounts of protein that once worked perfectly well. That changes everything. The brain still expects energy, hunger still appears, people continue eating bread, rice, snacks or processed meals thinking they are nourishing themselves. But the muscles may not receive enough building material to repair properly, so the body slowly becomes softer, weaker, more tired. And because this process happens gradually, Many people never notice it until climbing stairs feels harder or recovery takes longer than it used to. The dangerous part is psychological. People often blame themselves. They think they are lazy, out of shape, losing discipline. But sometimes the real problem is biological adaptation, not personal failure. Picture two men in their 50s. One eats mostly processed convenience foods and very little protein during the day. He feels tired after lunch, avoids physical activity, and slowly loses strength every year. The other begins prioritizing protein-rich foods like eggs, fish, Greek yogurt, beans, chicken, or cottage cheese throughout the day. He walks regularly. He keeps his muscles active. His body receives stronger repair signals. Over time, his energy, balance, and recovery begin improving instead of declining. The difference looks small at first, but over 10 years, it becomes enormous. Pause for a moment. The body is always adapting to the signals it receives repeatedly. That is why many health experts now encourage adults, especially after 40, to spread protein intake across the day instead of eating very little until dinner. Include protein in breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Combine nutrition with light resistance exercise or walking. Focus on whole foods instead of ultra-processed convenience meals. Prioritize sleep because muscle repair happens heavily during deep rest. One major mistake people make is assuming muscle loss only affects appearance. In reality, muscle supports metabolism, balance, blood sugar control, joint stability, and even healthy aging later in life. At what age did you first notice your energy or strength changing? Because the next food on this list is surprisingly cheap, yet many fitness influencers ignore it completely, while health researchers continue studying its powerful effects on muscle repair and long-term health. The cheap food most fitness influencers ignore. But doctors respect one of the most powerful muscle-building foods in the world is not expensive, and that is exactly why many people overlook it. Humans are deeply vulnerable to marketing. If a food does not come in a flashy package or carry a trendy label, the brain quietly assumes it must be less effective. But real biology does not care about branding. Your muscles do not recognize premium. They recognize amino acids, nutrients, recovery signals, and consistency. That is why simple foods like eggs continue showing up in nutrition research again and again. Eggs are one of the few affordable foods that contain high-quality protein along with nutrients connected to muscle repair, brain health, and energy production. Experts often point out that the body can use egg protein very efficiently because it contains all the essential amino acids muscles need to recover and grow. And here's the uncomfortable truth many people never hear. A lot of people are trying to build strength while eating foods that keep them emotionally satisfied, but biologically underfed. The body notices the difference. Highly processed foods are designed to create fast reward signals in the brain. Quick taste, quick pleasure, quick comfort. But muscles recover slowly. They need stable nutrition repeatedly over time. This is why people can feel full after eating and still struggle with low energy, poor recovery, or constant cravings later in the day. The brain says, "I ate enough." The body quietly says, "Not what I needed." And over time, that gap grows wider. You begin noticing smaller signs first. Less stamina, more soreness, afternoon fatigue, slower recovery after simple activity, trouble staying consistent with workouts. Then eventually, people assume aging is the problem when the real issue may be nutritional inconsistency. That is why doctors and nutrition experts often focus on simple, repeatable habits instead of extreme diets. Because the body responds best to patterns it can trust. When protein-rich foods appear consistently, the body becomes more willing to repair tissue, preserve muscle, and stabilize energy. When meals constantly swing between processed snacks and long gaps without nourishment, the body shifts into a more defensive state. Cravings rise, recovery slows, energy becomes unpredictable, and unpredictability exhausts the human body. Pause for a second. Most people do not need a more extreme diet, they need a more stable relationship with nourishment. A few simple habits can make a major difference. Include a reliable protein source early in the day. Choose affordable whole foods consistently instead of chasing trends. Pair protein with strength activity, even light movement. Stay patient because muscle repair responds to repetition, not perfection. One major mistake people make is chasing supplements while ignoring basic nutrition. Supplements can support health, but they cannot fully replace consistent whole food habits that the body understands naturally. And another mistake is fearing foods like eggs because of outdated myths while continuing to consume highly processed foods daily. Most nutrition experts today focus more on overall dietary patterns and balance rather than demonizing single whole foods. What simple food makes you feel the strongest and most energized during the day? Because the next mistake on this list is silently destroying muscle growth for millions of people who believe they are being healthy, while accidentally putting their bodies under constant stress. The dangerous muscle-building mistake hidden inside healthy diets. Some people are starving their muscles, while proudly calling it discipline, and the body always knows the difference between nourishment and punishment. One of the biggest mistakes humans make is believing that eating less automatically means becoming healthier. That belief has been repeated for so long that many people never stop to question it. They cut healthy fats, fear carbohydrates, skip meals, obsess over low-calorie foods, and then they wonder why their energy disappears, their sleep worsens, their mood changes, and their muscles stop growing. The body interprets extreme restriction as stress, and stressed bodies do not build efficiently. When calories drop too low for too long, the brain begins prioritizing survival over performance. Hormones shift, recovery slows, cravings increase, energy becomes unstable. In some people, muscle tissue starts breaking down because the body is searching for backup fuel. This is why many experts warn that aggressive dieting can quietly damage metabolism and physical resilience over time. But modern culture keeps rewarding exhaustion. People praise burnout, praise undereating, praise grinding through fatigue. And slowly, humans begin confusing suffering with progress. That mindset is dangerous. Real health is not built through punishment. It is built through intelligent consistency. The uncomfortable truth is that many people are trapped in cycles they never consciously chose. They were taught that smaller meals mean virtue, that hunger means success, that rapid weight loss means health. But the human body is not a machine you bully into strength. It is a living system constantly responding to stress, safety, recovery, and nourishment. And eventually, the body fights back. You see it in constant fatigue, poor concentration, late-night cravings, loss of strength, mood swings, slow recovery. Then people blame themselves instead of questioning the belief system that created the problem. Wake up for a moment. A body that feels constantly exhausted is not always becoming healthier. Sometimes it is quietly asking for help. The goal is not simply to lose weight. The goal is to build a body that can still protect you 20 years from now. That requires nourishment. A few grounded habits can completely change the direction of your health. Stop fearing balanced meals that include protein, healthy fats, and slow-digesting carbohydrates. Avoid extreme diets that leave you constantly tired or obsessed with food. Focus on sustainable strength, not rapid results. Give your body enough recovery, hydration, and sleep to repair properly. One major mistake people make is copying extreme diet trends from social media without understanding basic human biology. The body may tolerate stress temporarily, but long-term restriction often creates rebound cravings, unstable energy, and muscle loss. And another mistake is assuming appearance always reflects health. Some people look fit externally while their sleep, hormones, recovery, and energy are quietly collapsing underneath. What belief about food or dieting did you grow up thinking was healthy, but later realized was hurting you? Because the final point in this video explains something most people completely ignore. Your muscles may be trying to rebuild themselves while you sleep, and one simple nighttime habit could quietly determine whether your body grows stronger or weaker over time. And stay until the end, because there is one overlooked evening. Food researchers continue linking to better overnight recovery, steadier energy, and healthier aging after 40. The nighttime food trick that helps your muscles grow while you sleep. Most people think muscle is built in the gym, but a large part of muscle repair actually happens quietly at night. One reason humans struggle with recovery is inconsistency. The body repairs itself during deep sleep, but many people go to bed underfed, overstressed, or flooded with sugar and processed snacks. Then they wake up exhausted and assume aging is the problem. In reality, the body may have lacked the nutrients needed for overnight repair. This is why some doctors and nutrition experts recommend light protein-rich foods in the evening, especially after physical activity. Foods like Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, or milk contain slow-digesting protein that can help support muscle recovery while the body rests. And the body notices patterns. When sleep improves, recovery improves. When recovery improves, energy changes, strength changes, even mood changes. That is the connection many people miss. They focus only on workouts while ignoring the environment where repair actually happens. Pause for a second. Your body is rebuilding itself every single night. The question is whether you are helping that process or interrupting it. A few simple habits can support better overnight recovery. Avoid heavy processed snacks before bed. Prioritize consistent sleep schedules. Include light protein-rich foods at night when appropriate. Reduce late-night stress and overstimulation. One major mistake people make is sacrificing sleep while trying to become healthier. Poor sleep can affect recovery, hunger signals, focus, and energy regulation. What nighttime habit helped your energy or recovery the most? And if this video changed how you think about muscle, aging, and nutrition, subscribe to The Human Upgrade, because the next video reveals the hidden morning habits quietly damaging metabolism and long-term brain health after 40. Here is the uncomfortable truth most people never hear. Many humans are not becoming weaker because the body is failing them. They are becoming weaker because modern habits have trained them to ignore the body completely until exhaustion finally forces their attention. That is the real crisis, not aging, disconnection, but the good news is that the body responds surprisingly fast when you start giving it what it actually needs. Real nourishment, movement, recovery, consistency, and patience. You do not need perfection. You need awareness. And I genuinely want to hear from you. What food, habit, or daily change helped your energy, strength, or recovery the most? Share your experience in the comments because I read them carefully and I'll personally reach out to some of you. Your story could help someone else silently struggling right now. And if this video helped you think differently about health, subscribe to The Human Upgrade for more evidence-based insights that most people discover far too late.